The rain was falling in thick, cold sheets the night Daniel Hale stepped out of his car and walked toward the entrance of the old city shelter. He was a single dad, a CEO known for his sharp decisions and calm leadership, but tonight he looked tired, emotionally tired. Work had drained him, the constant pressure of running a large company and being a father to his 5-year-old son, Liam, had left him hollow. And yet, he made it a habit to visit the shelter whenever time allowed. It reminded him of something his late wife used to say: real success isn't in your bank account. It's in the lives you touch. He didn't know that tonight, someone else was waiting for him, someone whose life would change the moment he walked through those creaking doors. Daniel pushed the door open, shaking the rain from his coat, when he heard small footsteps rushing toward him. A little boy, no more than 9, stood there. His clothes were damp, his hair clung to his forehead, and his eyes, they held a kind of fear children should never know. "Sir, excuse me," the boy said softly. Daniel stopped and crouched down. "Hey there. Are you okay?" The boy swallowed hard, gathering courage he didn't really have. "Sir, my sister can't walk, can we stay with you?" Daniel blinked, taken aback. "Stay with me?" The boy nodded quickly. "Just for tonight, please. She's really tired, and she gets scared in crowded places. I don't want anything. I just want her to be safe." Daniel noticed the boy's hands trembling. His instinct told him this wasn't just a homeless shelter situation. This was something else, something deeper. "What's your name?" Daniel asked gently. "Ethan," the boy whispered. "And my sister is Lily. She can't walk on her own. Not since last year." Daniel's heart tightened. "Where is she now?" Ethan pointed to a corner where an old couch sat. A tiny girl with thin legs and a faded blanket around her shoulders was leaning against the armrest. Her eyes were half closed, fighting sleep, fighting pain, fighting everything life had thrown at her. Daniel stood and walked with Ethan toward her. The little girl looked up, her eyes afraid but hopeful. "Hi, Lily," Daniel said softly. She tried to smile. "Hi, mister." Daniel knelt beside her. "Ethan says you had a rough day." She nodded slowly. "My legs hurt. We walked a lot today." "Why were you walking?" he asked. Ethan hesitated, then whispered, "We ran away, sir." Daniel felt the ground shift beneath him. "From who?" Ethan looked around nervously before answering. "Our uncle. He hits Lily, and he drinks a lot. Mom and Dad died last year, and he took us in. But he only wanted the money that came with us. And when it stopped, he got worse." Daniel's jaw tightened. He could already feel anger rising inside him. "How long have you been on your own?" Daniel asked. 3 days, Ethan whispered. "I've been carrying Lily most of the time. But today I got too tired and she fell, I couldn't catch her." Lily looked down, ashamed. "Sorry, Ethan." He shook his head quickly. "No, Lily. Don't say sorry." Daniel felt something inside him break. He gently reached out and lifted Lily's blanket. Her legs were swollen, bruised, weak, and definitely not in condition for walking. Daniel looked at Ethan. "You asked if you could stay with me. Why me?" Ethan took a shaky breath. "Because you look like someone who wouldn't hurt us." The simplicity of that sentence hit Daniel harder than anything else. Hurt them. How many adults had failed these children? How many nights had they wished for someone, anyone, to protect them? Daniel picked Lily up carefully. She gasped from the sudden movement, and then relaxed against his chest, trusting him without knowing him. "Let's get you somewhere safe," Daniel said. Ethan grabbed his small backpack and followed them out. Liam, Daniel's son, was in the back seat of the car, playing with his toy dinosaur. When he saw Daniel carrying Lily, he blinked. "Daddy, who's that?" "A friend," Daniel said as he helped Lily settle into the seat. Liam smiled immediately, because children don't need explanations to be kind. "Hi, I'm Liam. Do you like dinosaurs?" Lily looked at him shyly. "I like the yellow one." Liam's face lit up. He handed her his brightest, most beloved dinosaur toy. "Here, you can have mine." Ethan climbed in beside her, and Daniel drove them through the rain toward his home. The ride was quiet, but the kind of quiet that felt safe, like a blanket. When they arrived at Daniel's house, a warm, cozy home filled with soft lighting and the gentle smell of vanilla, Lily gasped softly. Ethan froze at the doorway, afraid to step in. "Go ahead," Daniel said gently. "You're safe here." Ethan looked around slowly, his eyes widening at the fireplace, the soft couch, the warmth, something he hadn't felt for a long time. Daniel made warm soup while Liam showed Lily his toys. Ethan stayed close to his sister, watching protectively. After dinner, Daniel examined Lily's legs more closely. He realized she needed proper medical attention, something she clearly hadn't been getting. "Can I look at your legs?" Daniel asked. She nodded. He touched her ankles gently, examining the bruising. "Does this hurt?" "A little," she whispered. Ethan stood rigid, like any touch on Lily's legs still scared him, even if it wasn't him being hurt. "Ethan," Daniel said quietly, "you've been taking care of her all by yourself, haven't you?" Ethan shrugged. "She's my sister. She's all I have." Daniel felt something twist inside him again, an ache he thought he buried long ago after losing his wife. But looking at these two little strangers, he felt a fierce urge to protect. When Lily was settled into a soft bed, she fell asleep almost instantly. Liam insisted on sitting beside her, guarding her like a tiny knight. Ethan stood by the door, staring at her with tired eyes. "You should sleep too," Daniel said. Ethan shook his head. "No, sir. I need to stay up. In case our uncle finds us." Daniel knelt down in front of him. "Ethan, he's not coming here. I promise you." "People lie," Ethan whispered. "Adults lie all the time." "I don't lie," Daniel said firmly. "And I won't let anyone hurt you or your sister. Not ever." Something in Ethan's expression cracked. His face twisted as if he'd forgotten what it felt like to be believed, to be protected. And then he broke down. He threw his arms around Daniel and sobbed, loud, shaking sobs of fear, exhaustion, and relief. Daniel held him tightly, feeling the weight of a child who had carried too much for too long. "It's okay," Daniel whispered. "You're safe now. I've got you." That night, after Ethan finally fell asleep, Daniel sat alone in the living room. He kept replaying their words, their bruises, their fear. He knew what he needed to do. The next morning, he called his lawyer, his doctor, and the authorities. Lily was taken to a specialist who confirmed severe nerve damage that had worsened due to neglect. But with proper treatment, she had a chance to walk again. Ethan clung to Lily's hand the whole time, refusing to let go. Their uncle was arrested after investigation, and social services, after reviewing Daniel's background and seeing the way the children bonded instantly with him and Liam, gave him temporary custody while the case was processed. Weeks passed. Lily began physiotherapy. The first time she managed to stand, shaky, supported, but smiling, Ethan cried tears he didn't bother hiding. "You did it," he said, hugging her. "No," she giggled. "We did it." Daniel stood in the doorway, Liam beside him, both smiling proudly. Their home grew louder, warmer, brighter. Lily's laughter echoed through the rooms. Ethan's cautious smiles turned real. Liam had new siblings to play with, to protect. One evening, during a quiet dinner, Ethan suddenly spoke. "Sir, I mean, Daniel." Daniel looked up. "Yes, buddy." Ethan swallowed, his heart pounding. Can we stay with you forever?" Lily watched, her small hands fidgeting nervously. Daniel put his fork down, looked at them both, and took a deep breath. "I was hoping you'd ask," he said softly. "I already started the process." Lily gasped. Ethan froze. "You mean, you want us?" Ethan whispered. "More than you know," Daniel said, his voice thick. Lily slid off her chair and limped toward him. Daniel bent down to catch her, lifting her gently into his arms. "Daddy," she whispered as if testing the word. Daniel's heart melted completely. "Yes, sweetheart. I'm your dad now." Ethan moved slowly, tears filling his eyes. "Thank you, for choosing us." "No," Daniel said, pulling both children into a hug, "thank you, for trusting me." That night, for the first time in years, Ethan slept without fear. Lily slept without pain. Liam slept with a smile, proud to have a bigger family. And Daniel, he sat by their bedroom doors, listening to the peaceful breaths of the 3 children who had filled the empty spaces in his heart. A single dad CEO had walked into a shelter thinking he was helping strangers. He didn't know he was walking toward the family he never knew he needed. And they didn't know that by saying, "Sir, my sister can't walk, can we stay with you?" they had changed his life forever.